Hello, and welcome back to another Rocket Academy video. During this video, we will delve into another Firebase tool that we can use to add functionality into our React application. Firebase authentication allows us to facilitate user login, sign up, and more within our React applications. In these sessions, we will implement these functionalities using authentication logic within Firebase such that we do not need to code it out ourselves. The React application will send requests and data to the Firebase server to trigger actions such as login on Firebase. The server then responds to the React app, and if the response is successful, then our user is logged in and can access our React application's components. Before we implement, let's first consider some of the features from Firebase authentication that we will need to implement. Much like the real-time database and Firebase storage, we are going to need to connect to the correct application on Firebase. We do this with the getAuth method that we will set up in the firebase.js. Then we will need to give the users the ability to sign up and sign in. We leverage Firebase methods to do this. We will use the createUserWithEmail&Password method, passing in our auth reference as well as the email and password. This creates a new user. To sign in, we will use the sign-in-with-email-and-password method, passing in again the auth variable and our user credentials. This will enable our user to log in, but our application will need to become aware of this change. For this to happen, we will use the onAuthStateChange method to trigger a state change within our application, allowing the user to access features that only authenticated users can. The final feature that we'll be implementing is sign out, which allows our users to become unauthenticated within our application. To showcase Firebase authentication, we will implement it within the fruit_Firebase app, such that users must log in before they are able to upload a new fruit and its image into our online fruit application. To do this, we will need to ensure that our React application contains the right credentials and that we have set up the Firebase application to use Firebase authentication online. One of the first steps is to go to the Firebase console and enable Firebase authentication for our application. Here is my Firebase Fruit application console. We can then click on this button to get to the All Products section, and here I will click Authentication. At this point, I can click Get Started. We are going to need to make our users sign in with an email and password, so we click on this option in Native Providers. We will enable the email and password option and press Save. This creates Firebase authentication within our Fruit application on Firebase. Now we can go back into our React application to create the code necessary to interface with our Firebase authentication app that we activated on Firebase. Here is a terminal instance that is currently within our fruit_Firebase directory. Here I type in code . This opens up our React application. As you can see within the app.js, I have replaced the fruit form and fruit list with hook-based components, but we'll look at these components in future sections. At this point, let's look at the firebase.js. We will need to import the getAuth method from Firebase Auth such that our React application connects to our application's authentication services. This is similar to getDatabase and getStorage that we implemented previously. Now we set up a new variable named auth and assign the value of getAuth, passing in our Firebase application configuration. Now any component that imports this variable will have access to Firebase authentication. At this stage, we have set up Firebase Online and made our application variable, which will facilitate connection to our instance for Firebase authentication. In the next session, we will develop the required code and components with our React app to allow users to sign up, sign in, and log out. See you in the next video.